Morning. So, Saturday, middle Saturday. I've got a couple of mates coming down today from Manchester. They're very excited. We're going to be watching morning and afternoon sessions together, so that'll be interesting for me and fun because obviously I've been watching them on my own. So Chris Wakelin, Neil Robertson is the morning session. Get to that one in a minute. Hossein Vafay, Judd Trump is the afternoon, and then Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins in the evening. I'm going to be solo for that because my mates are going home. I imagine they'll be slightly peeved when I tell them what they've not signed up for in the evening. But they've both got kids, so probably have to get back for political reasons. So, onto the matches. So, Chris Wakelin, Neil Robertson. Now, Chris Wakelin is one of the seeds that I did not see any of due to being on the other table for the entire thing. In the first round against Liam Pullen, he must play quite well because Liam Pullen's been playing well and he's sort of quite battled hardened from the qualifiers, even though he was a debutant in the Crucible. Excuse me. What do I think is going to happen? I think a much improved Neil Robertson happened in the second sesh. I think Robertson will win. Yeah, it won't be an absolute walkover, this one. Wakelin's really battle-hardened match player, good solid player. You know, doesn't really take many chances, but then doesn't make too many silly mistakes. A bit like he's sort of an improved version of Pang in a way. I think Neil Robertson is going to win this match, and I think he's going to win it 13-9. That's my prediction. I think after the morning session, I think that he's going to be ahead after the morning session. It's the best I've seen Robertson play in some time, you know. I think he'll be 5-3 up after the morning session. Going to be interesting that. Robertson just needs to play like he did, like the same sort of zeal and energy that he did during the second session. Knocked in a few centuries, looked very good. On the subject of this afternoon, I may not be able to do a morning and afternoon video because I'll be with my mates and it'll just look a bit weird. So I'll probably get that out of the way now. Hossein against Trump. How do I see that going? Well, Hossein, as people who've watched my earlier videos will know, I was extremely impressed with Hossein. He blew away Sijawi. And obviously Sijawi isn't as intimidating as Judd Trump, so it'll be interesting to see if Hossein can keep that up. He needs to keep it up, frankly, and if he does keep it up, Judd Trump's got a game on his hands. How do I see it going? I see Hossein taking an early lead in the first session. I think Hossein will be leading 5-3. I think he needs to capitalise on this form that sort of has appeared pretty much out of nowhere. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. I see that going. I think Trump will win, but it could go very, very close. 13-11 for me, Trump. But I'm hoping that Hossein proves me wrong because I really like Hossein and hope he has a good little run. And on the subject of tonight, hopefully I'll have time in between the afternoon and evening to do a video, so I'll do a separate video for Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins. We're at the business end of the tournament now. Seeds are playing seeds in the main, so these matches start. This is where the tournament starts properly, as Stephen Hendry always says. On the subject of signature watch, I got a few good ones yesterday. Got Peter Ebden, Neil Robertson, Barry Hawkins. So, I mean, apart from the big fish, Ronnie O'Sullivan, we're looking pretty good. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Everyone have a really good day and weekend where you are, and enjoy the weather as well, like I won't be. Over and out.
So, evening all. I have just watched Ronnie O'Sullivan against John Higgins. Apologies for the lack of a video in between afternoon and evening sessions. I was having dinner with my wife. So yeah, completely forgot, frankly. Unprofessional. So, to be honest with you, it's probably not worth doing a video anyway, because I really didn't have that much of an opinion on how the game's going to go. That was a bit of a cop-out, but frankly, those two have played each other that much, and they're basically just looking to land heavyweight punch after heavyweight punch on each other. And, you know, it's kind of who takes the chances, simple as that. Tonight, intoxicating session of snooker, best session of snooker so far. I think I'm not sure there have been better performances. Ronnie O'Sullivan, I mean, was majestic from ball one, and you know how much I've disliked him this week for reasons away from the table. On the table, mesmeric. I thought I'd seen the performance of the round from Murphy, but that just blew it out of the water. So he went 4-1 up, just absolutely sublime in the balls, hitting the balls better than I've seen him in years. The fact that he's swapping cues and swapping tips, I'm not even sure he's doing that. I think it's a little bit of a smokescreen, frankly. If he's swapping cues, swapping tips, swapping load of all that gubbins, how can he play that well? I think he hit about 4 or 5 80 plus breaks in a century. The reception both players got before the match was, I've never been in an atmosphere like that before at a snooker match. I mean, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. A seminal match at the World Championship, incredible atmosphere. Ronnie had a lot of the crowd, as you'd expect. John had a lot of support as well. Ronnie's finished the session 6-2. Higgins had a chance to make it 5-3. Didn't really capitalise. I mean, if he got out of that 5-3, he'd have absolutely been overjoyed, because Ronnie's just been Ronnie there, frankly. John's got to come out fighting tomorrow. Obviously got to have a good start. Probably got to win the first session 3-1, you think, to have any chance. Anything else, and it's looking like it could be over. Not a session to spare, Jobby, but if Ronnie plays like that again, Higgins is going to find it extremely difficult to live with him, frankly. On the other table, so Hawkins started with a 10-6 lead. Obviously I didn't see any of it, but I was watching the score. Williams looked like he fought valiantly and went down 13-9 to the Hawk. So another one of my outright picks in the quarters, Barry Hawkins. Always sad to see Williams go out. Absolutely love the man, one of my favourite players. One of the class of 92 has fallen. So inevitably will be another at the end of, I think Monday's the end of the O'Sullivan-Higgins match. But a wonderful, wonderful session of snooker. As for O'Sullivan, if he wins, if he plays like that, I mean, I could have booked the 8th World Championship. I think he'll play Wakelin or Robertson in the quarterfinal. Frankly, playing like that, he'll blow them out of the water. I watched Robinson and Wakelin this morning, and neither of them were that good. It's levels, and if he plays like that, he'll murder them. And in the other quarter, I think it'll be Murphy against Zhao or Ding. Frankly, only Zhao stops what I saw tonight, and that's Zhao on top form, because I think he's the only one, maybe Trump on top form, but they're the only ones that will really scare O'Sullivan. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep that up tomorrow, but thoroughly enjoyed this evening. Amazing. And I'm hoping John fights back, although I haven't got tickets. I've been through my tickets for the next few days, and I haven't got tickets to the final session. I have got tickets to the second session, so going to be really, really keen to see what happens there. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in the morning. I'll go through the morning's matches at breakfast and go through my plan for the day as per. Anyway, hope you've all had a lovely Saturday. Over and out.